Welcome back to another series. We're going to be generating AI videos today, which is going to help you get conversions within your AI influencer online. Now, this is extremely important to have a high conversion rate because you can bring in an audience as much as you can via marketing and the reels that we've looked over previously. However, if you do not convert them across to customers, then this whole process is pointless. If you remember from the start when we were creating the AI images, we are creating these images in terms of monetizing them. If we don't monetize them correctly, then we're not going to make any money. If we don't convert customers correctly, we're not going to make any money. Now, the best thing to convert customers in 2025 is realism, mainly because a lot of people are engaged towards realistic things. If it looks very robotic, it talks like a robot, looks like a robot, then no one's really going to relate to this, and therefore conversions are going to be a lot lower. So our main objective is firstly to get that very realistic image, which we've done previously in the last series, which if you haven't seen, by the way, go check it out. It's a series to make the best AI model on the market. And then what we're going to do is then try to turn these images into videos whilst maintaining the realism as best as we can. This means that we're going to have to get a very realistic voice as well as a realistic image, which once again, I'm going to be showing you the platforms and the softwares today. So let's get into this first video and hopefully you guys can be able to replicate this with the tutorials that we're going to be providing today and get realistic images that we're going to link up to your Instagram page or your main social media platform, or maybe your ad accounts or whatever you're using it for, to be able to then convert these customers. So let's get into it. Yo, welcome everyone. So let's get back to this series. Now, this may look complicated, but let me just talk you through the kind of AI video series that I've been doing, and I'll let you know what we're doing this episode. So if we zoom out, this is what we've currently covered over the whole series. We've covered episode 1, which has been Reels. We've covered Kling and Runway. Then we've got episode 2 here, which is not safe for work and stuff like that. And then we've now got episode 3, which is going to be conversions. Now, these are going to be conversions on your Instagram page. This may not just be for OnlyFans models, but this is also for other general influencers that are trying to convert people across to a brand or maybe to like an ad or anything like this. This is going to help with conversions, having this level of realism. We're going to start off with part 1, and that is going to be Dreamina today. Now, Dreamina is a platform that is going to allow you to make advanced AI videos that is very realistic when it comes to talking. So the realism of this platform here is very, very good. So if you have a very good AI image, you put it into Dreamina with a very good AI voice, then it's going to allow you to be able to convert people because of the realism looks high, and therefore people are more likely to engage with it. This is kind of general psychology. If your model doesn't look very realistic, people aren't really going to be able to relate, engage with it, or think about conversing if you are running any kind of advert or anything like that. So having a very realistic model and having a very good lip sync as such is going to be very, very helpful, which is why we're going to be covering Dreamina today. Now, once again, I'm not going to go into extreme depths on how to cover Dreamina. I'm just going to do a rough tutorial. Obviously, if you want to know very advanced stuff about these platforms and getting realism within your talking, please go below. Obviously, I'll do a course on this and I can cover everything in a lot more depth because there's a lot more time. Obviously on YouTube, we're not going to go over everything. So hopefully this helps today, and hopefully this can improve your model's conversions, but it's not going to be a whole tutorial. Anyway, let's get into it. So firstly, let's get Dreamina up and loaded. Dreamina is a very basic platform. It's very easy to use and it's not too complicated. I believe I have done a video before on OFM Cole, but I'm going to do one again anyway, just because I know you guys may not have seen that. Save you guys from going to look as well. So this is the platform here. Now, firstly, what we want to do is come across to this AI image and select AI avatar. Now, this is going to be the lip sync feature. As you can see, I've been fucking around with it in the past, and there's me on a line and shit like that. Anyways, let's have a look. So we've got avatars. Now, this is where we're going to select the image of our AI model. As you can see, here's me sitting on a lion. This is where you would add that image. So this is just a basic image of your AI model. Ideally, it would be quite close up, so maybe like a headshot, because the further away it is from the camera, the harder it is to lip sync. But this is normally just the basic image of your model. Secondly, we then want to add the speech. Now, this speech is normally made on another platform, mainly because the speech on this platform isn't very good. We can generate it via text, but it isn't very realistic and it's going to sound very AI. And once again, this is being used to convert. So this needs to be very good, very realistic. If it's not good, not realistic, it's not going to convert people. So how are we going to get this speech? Normally you would use two platforms. Let's go back over to Amaro. Let's do a little another box. Play.ht or 11 Labs. These are the two platforms you use to get the best results. Now personally, I normally like to use Play.ht, mainly because I have a model that allows me to voice clone, so it's pretty helpful for me and very easy to do. However, you can use both of these platforms to be able to help you out. So let me get Play.ht up. Now these platforms, they're going to be basically text into voice. Pretty simple, it's not really that hard. And these platforms are both pretty advanced with it. They've got free trials, so feel free to play around with these and it shouldn't be too hard. If you want a video in the future teaching you exactly how to use these, let me know. Once again, it is in the course again, but I don't mind dropping a little YouTube video as it's not too complicated. But what I would definitely ensure when you're using these platforms is making sure that your punctuation is very, very good. So making sure if you want a pause, you put a comma, you put a full stop, you put maybe like a few dashes and a full stop, or even like a extra line, anything like that. Things need to be emphasized if you want them to have pauses. So for example, this guy's Dexter. If I wanted to click play, so I'm going to generate the voice and we can then obviously play it back. I believe I need to log in, so let me do that. So whilst Play.ht is loading, which I think it may be down now currently, we're going to go over 11 Labs. So let me play this and you guys can hear it.
Where skies shimmered and forests whispered secrets to the wind, lived a dragon named Zephyros. Not the book.
So as you can see, it's quite well structured. It's not just saying it as quickly as possible. It's saying it as if it's a story. It's following the punctuation and all of this kind of stuff. It doesn't sound too realistic. It does sound a little bit AI, but this is why you want to try find the best voice possible. There's hundreds of voices, lots of different speakers. So you want to find the one that's the best. And Play.ht, once again, is very good as well. This platform is very good because it adds in a few kind of pauses. So rather than just saying the words perfectly, it adds in like maybe a little laugh or like a or all of these kind of things, which is obviously very helpful for realism. For some reason it's not letting me log in right now. I think it might be down for maintenance. It does do this quite a bit. However, it is a very good platform. Maybe we can test out one of these.
I seen on the Facebook.
That was shit. Don't use that one. Let's try this one down the bottom.
Try no-nonsense nursing. Pre-approved, high-quality medical attention that not only fights for you, but saves you from the corporate cold music.
Something like that. That was slightly better, I'd say, than 11 Labs. Well, this is very much storytelling vibe. But once again, there's millions of voices on here which you can select from, or make your own. Either or is absolutely fine. But these are the platforms where you want to generate the voice. You then want to insert it into this kind of speech section here, along with your image, and then obviously click generate. This may take a few hours to generate, so bear that in mind, and it may not come out perfect first time, but this is kind of what you want to be doing when it comes to this platform in terms of getting realistic results. Now if you want, I can show you some from the past, so let me scroll up and find some.
I have a bone to pick. Why does no one say my reels? Like really? Are they not good enough? Guys, instead of liking my stuff, save it and come back to it later.
So something like that is a reel that you can then obviously pin on your page on Instagram. People are going to be able to engage with it, people are going to like it, and obviously it's got like a call to action for people to share reels, like reels, save reels, all of these kind of stuff to once again help boost engagement. So that's something that you can use to help improve the realism on your account, and then obviously allow conversions to be a lot higher, because that is the main part of this episode, is to improve conversions and also have realistic lip sync. So let's look at this video again.
I have a bone to pick. Why does no one say my reels?
If we have a look, the lip sync is very good.
Guys, instead of liking my stuff, save it and come back to it later.
So the actual AI image itself isn't 10/10, admittedly, but the lip sync is very, very good. It's moving its head in like general expression terms, so it's not just the lips moving. It does add a bit of movement to the video, which makes the realism come out even more, which is very, very good. So having something like this is perfect. It's kind of what you want to be doing, and that's going to help with conversions. Now, one thing that this platform does do is, as you can see, the sharpness of the video increases quite a bit. So if we go to the end, As you can see, the sharpness is significantly higher here than it was at the beginning here. Now this problem can always be fixed on CapCut, so if you do get that problem, you can go onto CapCut, you can add some skin smoother halfway through the video and kind of just keyframe that all the way down, and that's going to allow you to kind of get rid of that sharpness effect on your model's face. In fact, I'll show you that now, why not? So let's have a look at CapCut. Now if we see here, the face isn't that sharp, however it is near the end here. So what you can always do is simply come onto here, go onto the retouch section, scroll down to the auto shape, I believe. No, the retouch bit here, and then you can obviously change the smooth skinness and obviously the evenness as such. So if I wanted, let's say if we remove these, the skin is obviously very sharp, however if I add the smoother and maybe even it out a little bit, it looks a bit more, you know, human, less sharp. So then we can do that obviously at the start and at the end, because if we go to the front now, it's obviously very smoothed out. So what we're going to do is make sure that this is 0. As soon as we start seeing it getting too sharp, just going to cut it there, move a bit more forward, and then cut it there as well. Now this obviously does take a little bit of time, but you're not going to be doing these videos very regularly, mainly because these are just made for conversions, so you only really want 2 or 3 of these on your page. But if we now watch it,
I have a bone to pick. Why does no one save my reels? Like, really? Are they not good enough? Guys, instead of liking my stuff, save it and come back to...
See, that's a lot better than what it was previously, when obviously at the end here, it got very sharp. So let me put that here. We can have a little look before and after. So obviously this is very sharp, and then this is smoothed out a lot more, which is exactly what we want. Very minor difference, but, you know, it makes a good kind of... it does help a lot when it comes to conversions, so it is quite important to do. Once again, lots of these little tips and tricks are all in the course. So if you did want to become like a little mastermind at doing this, then obviously head over to the course, and that's going to be able to help you out. It's only, you know, $47 most of the time. Loads of discounts on every month, so just keep an eye out. It's really easy, and it's going to help you out a lot. But overall, that's going to be able to help your conversions. Next episode, we're going to be going over VO3, which I've done before on this channel, but I'm going to do it again because it's just constantly improving. And if we then go over to the additional section here, we're going to be looking at how to change clothes on AR models, WAN 2.2, which has very recently come out and is shocking a lot of people, and then maybe some additional extras. So leave it in the comment system, whatever you want to see, and I'm going to be able to get back to you and make a video on it, because I want to know what the audience is best looking for, so that I can obviously perfect the process for you guys and obviously get it out there to be able to help you out the most. So hopefully you guys have all enjoyed this video today. Apologies, it was an extreme amount of detail. This is mainly because this process will take a very, very long time to be able to talk you through absolutely everything and replicate it into the software. Most of the time on Dreamina, it's a great platform. However, the wait time is around 5 to 10 hours per image or video generation. So squeezing that all into one video would be very rushed and very long-winded for yourselves. But if you understand the basic theory from today's video, then you're going to easily be able to replicate this in your own time and be able to pump out these videos, which are going to help with your conversions. Now these videos, we don't need to have loads of them. They're not like reels. We don't have to have 10 different type of these videos on your page every single day. But just having 1 or 2 of these videos pinned, or even using them for ads, is obviously going to help you a lot in terms of converting people across from A to B, meaning that you're going to get a lot more money. So if you did want the in-depth version, then obviously go across to the course. $47 course is exactly what you need to be able to get your AR model started, and then obviously grow and monetize the audience that you gather with this model. If you're looking for that link, it'll be down in the description below, and hopefully it's very useful. So cheers for watching, like, subscribe, do your standard thing, and keep following along with this series, because it's going to be very helpful for you and anyone else that may want to get into AR models within the future. This is a specialist job.